Thank you very much. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 41st Nation in Treaty 3 territory. I'd like to introduce the members of the panel today, the secretary to the board and the assessor. In terms of the panel members, online on Zoom, we have Gail Anderson. To my left, we have Doug Marks, and my name is Gisela Rempel. I'll be chairing the meeting today. From the assessment department, we have got Drew Thiessen, and our administrative personnel today is Zachary Mohan. I hope I pronounced that correctly. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by council and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decision with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included in the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony, followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing items 1 through 6 today. Mr. Mohan, please affirm the assessors and the applicant's testimony.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Assessor, please state your full name.
Drew Thiessen.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
We have to swear in the applicant.
Oh, for the first items we have motions. Oh, we have motions? Yeah. So
Sorry, pardon me.
So
Are we at Clipco Developments?
if we were to skip that, we would put these.
So the first 3,
The first.
the first 4. Pardon me for the confusion. The first 4 items we're gonna put to the end of the docket today, because we don't have representation here at this time. So we're going to go to number 5, which is 440 Queen Street.
Okay,
Okay, Ms. Applicant, please state your full name.
Natalia Klippenstein.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Assessor, please make your presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you. The subject property is located at 440 Queen Street, roll number 07569139090. It is a vacant lot located in the King Edward neighborhood with a size of 3795 square feet. The comparables are all located in the King Edward neighborhood as well. They're all vacant lots as well. And they have a range of lot size between 2397 square feet to 2524 square feet. The time adjusted sale prices range between 147,500 to 156,400. And the time adjusted sale prices per square foot of lot size ranges between 59.96 per square foot to 63.33 per square foot. With this property, I have been in contact with the applicant several times over the past few weeks. They have advised that there is a house currently under development on the site, and it will be completed prior to the end of this year, with an estimated completion time around September or October. As a result, I did advise the applicant to withdraw, as the value under appeal won't actually be applicable for the 2025 year, since we will be adding the house onto the roll after the construction has been completed, and with that being an effective date prior to January 1st of 2025, which is with the assessed value under which the appeal is for. So as a result, while I'm not overly concerned with the value since it will be overruled by the upcoming improved assessment, I do believe that the current assessed value is still supported by the comparables that I have provided, with the assessed value being at $154,000 or $40.58 per square foot.
Thank you, Mr. Assessor. Ms. Anderson, do you have any questions? Oh, pardon me. First of all, applicant, do you have any questions of the assessor?
I'm just looking at which comparables, like I see the comparables here that Drew submitted, and 3 or 2 of which are not within the dates, because it was to April 1st, 2023. There's some that were February 2022 and March 2022 on Rutland and Marjorie. The 2 on Ferry, I believe, had houses on them.
Do you have a question for the assessor?
So, yeah, what comparables is it that he's submitting here for what addresses?
It's the ones that you are talking of.
The Rutland and the Marjorie?
Rutland, Marjorie, and the 2 ferries.
So Rutland and Marjorie were the 3rd of March 2022 here and the 8th of February 2022.
Yeah. They sold prior to April 1st of 2023. So yeah.
They sold prior to April?
Yeah, these are all sales.
Right, but you told us that we have to be within April 2022 and April 2023.
No. I said the sales have to be prior to April 1st of 2023.
He has on email, it's April 2022 and April 2023.
No, I'd never said April 2022 to April 2023.
All right. Well, are these properties with houses on them?
They are vacant lots. So at the time of sale, comp 1, 2, 3 all sold as privately for redevelopment, vacant lots, and then comp 4 sold as an improved but was is in poor condition, and demolition permits were pulled within 4 months.
I see. Okay. Well, okay.
Wait, wait, were those the right numbers? Oh, sorry, no. That was for my other brief. That's for the next property, sorry. This is 1, 2, 3. Marjorie is, so that was comps 2, 3, and 4. 2 2 and 3 sold privately for redevelopment, and 257. I'm sorry, I didn't copy the notes for this property well, because again, I'm not overly concerned with it because it is going to be developed before the end of the year.
Right, and then the girl that we spoke with, she said that that doesn't apply. So that's why, like, this is super frustrating. We're given totally different information through the both of you. She said, no, you still apply.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you did appeal, so you appealed the value, but
okay,
the
but how is
value
that?
under appeal, the value under appeal won't be applicable by the time the 2025 assessment takes effect, because there's going to be a house on it. We're going to reassess it as an improved lot by that point.
So where does that state when I apply this? Because that's basically you just took my money, knowing, not me knowing, but you knowing that we don't apply.
I'm not with the Board of Revision. I never told you anything like that. The only thing I did, I spoke with Tyler and advised that the value would be changing before the end of the year, because he said that the construction would be completed by September, October. So we would be adding the house on at that point, at which point the 2025 value would be changing to an improved value rather than a vacant lot value.
Ms. Applicant, you will have an opportunity to make your presentation. I don't know if you have any other questions of the assessor at this time, but the assessor is just looking at the information that is provided in the appeal that you send in.
Right, I understand that, but when you can't have an appeal if you're giving me totally different information and then you're presenting something else. We were told within 1 year frame to submit the comps. If I knew I can do anything prior to this year, then I would have a whole lot more.
Okay, we're gonna give you an opportunity to make a presentation in a moment. If you don't have any further questions of the assessor. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Anderson if you've got any questions of the assessor.
Thank you. Thank you. I have one question in regards to the comparables that you've presented. The sale price, the adjusted sale price, the square foot is much higher in all four than the subject property. And can you advise why that is?
Absolutely. So it fully makes sense, as all of these lots are fairly significantly smaller. As you can see, the lot size is 3795 square feet for the subject, whereas all of the comparables are below 2500 square feet, or just one of them is just above 2524 for comp one, but mostly all below 2500 square feet. So as the size of the lot increases, I would expect that the per square foot would actually decrease.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Those were all my questions. Thank you for your presentation.
Mr. Marks, any questions?
Yes, one question. How long has this been a vacant lot with no buildings on it?
I don't have that information in front of me. However, I can pull it up very quickly if you give me one moment. In the meantime, do you have any other questions that I could
No,
potentially
that's-
answer? That was the only one? Okay, I will try to get that as soon as I can.
Sure.
While you're looking that up, I am wondering if you could answer this question. I see that for comp 3 and comp 4, that the land influences say medium traffic.
Yes.
Could you tell me what kind of an impact that might have on the value of the property?
It would have a negative value on the property, particularly as a residential development. More traffic, heavier traffic would be a negative influence.
And can you tell me, you indicated that you discovered that there was a house under construction on this particular site. And you spoke with the applicant about potentially withdrawing their application,
Yes.
and they were not, they wanted to proceed to appeal.
Well, my understanding is that they did speak with the Board of Revision and they were advised to continue to the appeal process, even though the value under appeal is not actually going to be applicable by that point. I was not privy to those conversations, so I don't really know what the situation with that was. However, he did indicate to me that he had been in contact with them and that they said to continue.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thiessen. I don't know if you had the answer to that previous question. Or if you-
So what it looks like here is there was actually a division of a previously existing lot. And that was made effective July 7th of 2022. So I'd imagine that the demolition was done sometime on or before that date of the previous lot that existed with the single lot before the two lots.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I will now turn it over to the applicant to make a presentation if you have one.
I mean, the only reason why we're going through with 440 Queen at this point is because of the girl that my husband spoke with yesterday to said to proceed. But I have my husband here, so I'm not sure if he wants to add here to Queen.
I'm not sure what was said prior. It's just, this whole thing's been complete. We have no idea what we're doing. Nobody's telling us.
Excuse me, sir, you aren't sworn in. at this-
Oh God, it's one of those.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Not Kevin, sorry.
for 440 Queen, I don't know, because Drew, I'm thrown off again. We were told a 1-year time frame for property, so I feel like we need a redo of this.
Visa Hutter.
A Visa Hutter Tyler spoke with yesterday, who said, no, continue. She even mentioned something about, you know what, I don't even know, but this is unfair. We were given different instructions than what we're being told today. And now this is being thrown out, according to Drew, where Visa Hutter said, no, that won't be the case. So I don't even know what to tell you with 440 Queen, but I feel like this is a complete money grab. People should be told what exactly they're appealing and the time frame and what the windows are. Like, I didn't know, nowhere did it say, oh, if you're building a house and it'll be done by such and such date, then you can't appeal that. Well, now I just threw $60 out the window and time to only find out through someone that, oh no, it doesn't apply to that. And then someone else saying, yeah, it still does. So still appeal it. So I don't know. Everyone seems to have their own rules. And that's what's frustrating.
We're not.
It's just like city when we have the houses inspected. It all depends on who you get, I guess, and what kind of day they're having, which is completely unfair to people who own properties. And
May I ask before we proceed? I can sense your frustration.
absolutely, because you know what, my time isn't free either. I'm dealing with a lot too, and this is just crazy.
Could you please tell me, did you speak with Visa Hutter yourself?
My husband did yesterday, yes.
Did you want your husband to be sworn in to make a presentation? He can do that, but we would have to swear him in to make a presentation.
Yes. Can you
Do I have to swear?
Yeah.
Hello,
Mr.
Tyler
Hello.
Stein.
Hi, Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Tyler Joseph Klippenstein.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Oh, yes, the truth, yes.
Thank you.
All right, please proceed to make your presentation, Mr.
It's her, she's, what am I saying?
Well, for 440 Queen, we also noticed here that the clump 3 and clump 4 that Drew submitted are not even on MLS.
I had my realtor look for 412 and 410 ferry this morning and he says, I can't find it on MLS. So I said, well, how is that a comparable? Is it a secret sale that the city had? I don't know. Did they sell it to themselves? Yeah, and it's just frustrating because I'm told one thing, so I spend hours gathering all the information with Drew, and then Visa calls me yesterday morning. I emailed her, what, a week and a half ago? Yesterday morning, and she says, no, proceed. And I'm like, well, now I'm scrambling. I have all the wrong information. I've known. This isn't fair. We should have more time. We should have the right information, and it's supposed to be a fair appeal, right? Yeah. So anyways, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Assessor, do you have any questions of the applicant?
I have no questions.
Mr. Marks, do you have any questions of the applicant?
No, this one, questions. Thank you.
Ms. Anderson, do you have any questions of the applicant?
No, I have no questions. Thank you.
I'm just wondering, you have a house under construction on this particular property, and it's
Yes.
estimated to be completed in September of this year.
September, October. Do I have to give a timeline? Like
No,
an
no,
actual date?
I'm just asking a question.
It'll be
don't
this
have to
year.
give a timeline, no.
It'll be this year for sure. It'll be this year.
Can you tell me how long has the lot been vacant prior to the construction starting?
I subdivided it and started building immediately as soon as I could, but with the city and all the permits and subdividing, it was probably 2 years. And it was part of the land beside it, so I don't know if it would be considered vacant land because it was 442 Queen. So
Okay,
I don't know how to, yeah. So about 2 years ago, I guess I started the subdivision process, and I haven't let anything lag in the meantime. Whenever I get information, I continue and continue and continue. So I hope that answered your question.
yes, thank you very much. I think I have no further questions. I'm wondering, Mr. Assessor, if you have any summary?
Just again, that because this property will be improved before the end of the year, the current assessed value at 154,000 for vacant land isn't really going to be applicable by that point. So I'm not overly concerned with the value at this point, since it will be overruled by the future improved assessed value.
Thank you. Applicants, do you have any summary you'd like to provide?
Do you have
Oh, me, just curious, what happens if I get cancer like I did last month? I've been diagnosed with cancer, and I can't finish the house this year. So how does that affect what Drew just said there? If I don't finish this year, what happens if I have to take time off? I got to get chemo or whatever, and I don't finish till January, February, March. Does that change anything that Drew just said?
Mr. Assessor, would you like to answer that question?
It could potentially if it does go into the next year. However, I have already said that I do believe that the value is also supported by the comparables that I have provided.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, where are the comparables for me to grab for 412 and 410 Ferry for my realtor?
They don't exist.
Like, were these sold by somebody, a private, like who? I'm not looking for names, but like, where was this? Because it's not on MLS.
Are we still in questioning?
I thought
No,
I
I
am.
think it's a summary at this stage of the game.
Right, can I go back and ask a question?
since we had all.
That's pretty
the
crucial. I
information.
mean, comps that don't exist, I'd like to know that they're somewhere.
Okay, Mr. Eason, maybe we could redirect that question to you and summarize.
Sure, no problem. So those two sales were private land sales. They were not MLS listed. They were private land sales.
And so nobody can see how can we? I thought this was supposed to be fair.
These are sales
Well,
that
I
occurred in
made a private land sale myself.
Yeah,
You know,
actually,
like-
I sold one for 20 grand last 2 years ago. There,
Like,
yeah.
no. This is completely unfair. This is like a witch hunt of you're just trying desperate to no. bring some comparables that are through MLS so people can see, not some hidden agenda stuff here. No.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next item on the agenda. Oh, Ms. Anderson?
Who's Miss Anderson? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Thought you were calling me Miss Anderson.
No. Did you have a question? Ms.
Madam
Anderson?
Chair,
Yes.
I'm wondering in the applicant's summary, if there was an opportunity for them to indicate the value they were seeking in the application.
I didn't even think of that. Now, for my excuses, I don't even know what's happening here. We've been told wrong information all over the place. Now, that question, though, I should have thought of that in the first place, regardless of what answers I was told by Drew or anybody else, and I just didn't actually break it down because I'm just so flustered with this. I don't have an answer right now. I'm sorry. I'm unprepared. This is completely. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to finish, would be seeking it, what you think is a fair amount of the assessment for this particular property?
Are we on? We're on 440 Queen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything like?
No, I'm not allowed.
Okay. I just feel like, well, it's hard though, because these lands have houses on it, so it's not a comparable. Like, how do you compare something like that? Like, if you were to buy a
Value
house,
you are seeking? Do you have a value that you are seeking here?
If you were to turn around and list this
Sorry,
lot
sorry.
today, what would you list it for?
if I was to turn around and sell a lot, put it on the market today, the realtor said 119. He's like, we'll see what happens at 119. And I said, okay, but I'm not listing it. So I just asked him.
Can I just touch on that? But that's current market value, correct?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. So I don't know what to say there. Like, I just feel like 156. If I was to sell it even in 2023, that's too high. That's it. I know COVID was crazy. We should have comparables, but we don't have any comparables. Like the private sales I'm looking at, I can't even look at that because that's not even a comparable. I didn't know. I was under the understanding that it was 1 year from 2022 to 2023. So I erased everything from prior. I didn't even. Yeah. Whatever, $60, I guess, have it, enjoy it.
It's not the first time the city steals
Time for
money.
this.
Okay, I just want to clarify one thing, that the revision is independent of the city of Winnipeg. And we will take your evidence into consideration, what you have presented today before we make a decision. I just wanted to clarify that before we move on to the next item on the agenda, which is number 6. 307 Inglewood Street.
Number 6.
Sir, could I ask you to make your presentation?
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
So the subject property is located at 307 Inglewood Street, roll number 075-691-38900. It is located in the King Edward neighborhood, and it is 2358 square feet of vacant land. The comparables are, again, all located in the King Edward neighborhood, between 2295 square feet to 2460 square feet. Again, the two ferry comparables do have that medium traffic influence, and the time adjusted sale prices range between 147,500 to 151,800, or 59.96 per square foot to 65.88 per square foot. The current assessed value is at 144,000 or 6107 per square foot, and I believe that that value is supported. Thank you.
Applicants, do you have any questions of this other? Sorry, are you on mute? We can't hear you.
Oh,
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
Again,
questions?
the comps, why are we using comps that are not on MLS?
Yeah.
Why don't we use comps off MLS?
So
Because these sold as vacant.
Right, but I can't even look at them. I can't, nobody,
You could have made
like,
that up.
you could have made that up.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Okay, we'll give you a chance to present your evidence in a moment, but I'd like to ask Ms. Anderson if she's got any questions at all at this time.
Yes, just in regards to the comparables, are any of the comparables, are they all arm length sales, open market sales?
As far as I could tell, they are private sales for the first three. So as far as I can tell, they do appear to be arm's length transactions. They were not sold evidently between like related parties. Whereas Comp 4 actually did sell as an improved lot, but it was in very poor condition and demolition permits were pulled 4 months after the sale. And that was MLS listed.
Okay, and that one was MSL listed. So the others, they're registered at land titles and the sale is seen by the assessment branch, right? When the,
We do
the
have
title?
visibility to that from the land title sale. Yeah.
okay. And so for the public to view those sales, how would that occur?
I'm not certain if it is available through sales books on our website as improved lots typically are. I honestly am not sure about that.
Okay, thank you. One additional question. Have you had discussions with the applicant in regards to this property?
I was in contact regarding both properties. In this case, there is going to be a house on development on it, but it is currently in approval phase with planning, property, and development. So at this point, nothing has been done. It hasn't been started. There is no estimated completion date. It is, as right now, kind of up in the air.
Okay, so it's currently vacant land.
It is vacant land.
And there are, perhaps that's a question that I will ask the applicant. So thank you. Thank you. That's all the questions that I have, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Mr. Marks?
My question has been answered, thank you.
And my questions have been answered. Thank you. So I'll turn it over to the applicants to make their presentation.
Yes, so our realtor came up with properties in the area and these all have houses on them. 278 Collegiate sold for 115. That had a house on it. 284 Inglewood had a house on it, sold for 130. 365 Albany, house on it, sold for 129. 312 Truro Street had a house on it, sold for 157. 246 Parkview Street sold for 130 with a house on it. 476 Collegiate sold with a house on it for 110. 365 Albany sold with a house on it for 126. And 380 Queen sold with a house on it for 137.5. Nothing besides one, which was a pretty large home, sold for anywhere near these prices that were given what it's worth. Again, Drew presented homes that were like a pocket sale where they could have been a family member, it could have been anyone giving them extra money. That is completely an unfair comp, because that's like me selling a lot to my son or him buying, and he's saying he sold it or bought it for an established amount. That's not fair play at all. I want MLS comps of houses sold. So none of these houses are anywhere near what 307 Inglewood. And if you know where 307 Inglewood, that's like north end of St. James. That is not a fair assessment at all. If Drew can please present some homes through MLS that are, or vacant land that were through MLS around this price, 144,000.
Mr. Assessor, do you have any questions of the applicant?
I do, thank you. So none of these sales that you provided were of vacant land, correct?
No.
Okay. And were any of the properties demolished since their purchase that you're aware of?
That I'm not aware of.
No idea.
Okay, it doesn't appear that they were. I did look into it.
Yeah.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Marks, do you have any questions?
Yes, it's time. What value would you put on your property at 307?
Maybe
Yeah.
90, like it's
It's
the
not-
north end of St. James. Nobody that's gonna,
It's not nice at all.
It's-
Like when I subdivided it, my house that I subdivided got robbed twice and we were only there working for like a week. Anyways, I would value it at maybe 120. And that's in the height of COVID. Like now I would value it at way less, but in 2023, I'd say a fair price is 120,
and I'd like to add,
120,000, sorry.
with Drew questioned if these were vacant lots, and I know we're trying to compare apples to apples here, but there were none, and with a house, that would mean it should be worth even more. So if that were a vacant lot, it would be even less.
Okay, thank you very much. No further questions.
I'm wondering in terms of your last comparable that you have provided to us, 284 Inglewood Street. And it was sold on April the 26th, 2023.
Yes.
Is
No,
that correct?
yes.
6, yeah.
I think that's all my questions at the current time. Mr. Assessor, do you have a summary you would like to provide?
I believe Miss Anderson has
sorry.
a.
Anderson, so I'm sorry, Ms. Anderson, my apologies. Do you have any questions you would like to ask?
Yes, just one question. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. With regards to the comparables that you provided, are the lot sizes the same or as your subject property as 307 Inglewood, or are they similar in size or are they larger?
Oh, in ours.
Nurse. I don't know.
I'm gonna guess, I don't know, but I'm gonna say Inglewood is a 23.85 foot lot. 25 is the average. Well, not the average, 25 is like the base that the city will allow without having to go through variances and a lot of headache. So I did that for a really small lot, 23.85, and I would say that this is a smaller lot than any comparable that.
Yeah, no, I can see here the comparables, they're bigger than what our lot is.
Yeah, because ours is a weird one. 23.85 is very, you never see that. So I'm gonna say that it's the smallest one.
Okay. Thank you very much. Those are all my questions. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Mr. Assessor, do you have a summary you would like to provide?
I am okay. Thank you.
Applicants, do you have a summary you'd like to provide?
Are you talking to us?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
I just like to summarize by adding that, yeah, I don't feel that this was a fair comparable with using private sale lots. The price could have been anything at that point. And yeah, seeing all these properties with houses on them and still selling for far less than what ours is valued at, being the smallest lot and vacant, no house on it. Is common sense, should say enough.
Yeah, if somebody was to go and buy a piece of land and they can't live there, if they go and buy this house here that they're saying is a tear down, but somebody could live there, so the house is worth more with the house on the land, right? That's what makes sense to me, a house or no house.
If there's a house on there, it's obviously worth more than a vacant
Yeah.
lot. I can move in and live there, start paying off my mortgage, then pay $15,000 more for a vacant lot where I can't stay or pitch a tent on.
And then also, it's probably not an option because this is the appeals meeting, but I just feel like we were so jutted around and we had no idea what was happening, and it would take 2 weeks to get an email back and, call me the day before to give me an answer. And so if it's possible to possibly redo this so I can be more prepared and not so, but I get it if not, whatever. And that's my summary. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And we're done with that particular item now. So we will move on to the next item, which I think is going to be a recess. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I now call this meeting back to order. And the board has decided we are going to hear items 1 through 4. So I will turn it over to Mr. Assessor to start with number 1, which is 525 Spence Street.
Thank you. So the subject property is located at 525 Spence Street, roll number 130-990-72550. It is located in the Spence neighborhood. It is a vacant lot, and it is 6730 square feet. The comparables are located comps 1 and 3, both in the Spence neighborhood as well, and comp 2 and 4 in the West Alexander neighborhood. The lot sizes range between 2052 square feet to 3312 square feet. And there are land influences on comp 1 and comp 2, with comp 1 having a commercial adjacent influence and comp 2 having the commercial adjacent, medium traffic, and bus route influences. The time adjusted sale prices range between 78,400 to 102,800. The time adjusted sale prices per square foot of a lot range between $30.22 to $43.38. And as noted, the lot size is significantly larger for the subject than the comparables, as that was the best comparables that I could find with similar zoning. And the current assessed value at 129,000 or 1917 per square foot, I believe, is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Assessor. Ms. Anderson, do you have any questions of the assessor?
Just in regards to the sale comparisons, are they, are these all open market sales?
So comparable 1 sold privately as a vacant lot. All other 3 were sold on MLS.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation. Those are all my questions.
Mr. Mark, any questions of the assessor?
Just one, the difference in lot size is definitely looking at sale price at the end of the day. So I'm actually thinking that the price on the properties that we have in front of us right now is because of the lot size is considerably larger.
Yes. Yes. So it's all the lot size is about 2.5 times the size of two times the size of the largest one, 2.5 times, actually over 3 times the size of the smallest one. So I would expect that this lot would sell for significantly more than the comparables.
Okay, thank you very much. No further questions.
And my questions have been asked and answered. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. We'll move on to the second item on the docket, which is 129 Harriet Street.
Okay, thank you. The subject property is located at 129 Harriet Street, roll number 130-612-48000. It is again a vacant lot, 3,075 square feet. It has land influences of a commercial adjacent and an odd shape. The shape is related to it being a kind of an L-shaped lot, where it is a little bit smaller in the front by about 6 feet. And I believe that goes back about 32 feet or so of the lot's depth. And then it expands to a larger area. The comparables are located in comp 1, the West Alexander neighborhood, comp 2, the Centennial neighborhood, comp 3, and comp 4 in the Spence neighborhood. The lot sizes range between 2052 square feet to 3312 square feet. The comparables all do have land influences except for comparable 4. Comparable 1 has the bus route, commercial adjacent, and medium traffic influences, and comps 2 and 3 both have commercial adjacent influence. The sale prices, time adjusted, range between 83,700 to 102,800. And the time adjusted sale price per square foot of lot ranged between 3022 square feet to 4338 per square foot. The current assessed value is at 94,000 or $30.57 per square foot, and I believe that that value is supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thiessen. Mr. Marks, do you have any questions of the assessor?
No question this time, thank you very much.
Ms. Anderson, do you have any questions of the assessor?
I have no questions. Thank you. Thanks for your presentation.
I just have one question. And that is, it seems that this is quite an unusual shape for a property from what you were saying. And how would that influence the total assessment?
It's really difficult to say. I can't really put a number on it, just because it is an oddity. So trying to find something similar would be very difficult.
Thank you very much, Mr. Assessor. That concludes this item. We'll move on to the next item on the docket, number 3, which is 605 Toronto Street, please.
Okay, the subject property is located at 605 Toronto Street, roll number 13040102000, located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. It is a vacant lot, 2573 square feet with a commercial adjacent influence. The comparables are all located also in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood, and the lot sizes range between 2207 square feet to 2871 square feet. The comparable 4 does have a bus route and medium traffic influence, being located on Arlington. And the time adjusted sale prices range between 86,400 to 110,700, or time adjusted sale price per square foot of lot ranging between 3009 per square foot to 5016 per square foot. And the current assessed value is at 99,000 or 3848 per square foot, and I believe that that value is supported. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Marks, do you have any questions of the
Yes.
assessor?
These are all vacant lots
They are all vacant lots.
and size is dictating the eventual cost of these different lots.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that?
The size is dictating the land values at this point.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, they are, oh, well, and the traffic influence and the bus route would likely have an effect on the Arlington one.
Okay.
But yes, the lot size would be what would be really driving the value. And while I did say that they are vacant lots, they are not necessarily fully sold as vacant lots. They are, comp 1 was sold as a vacant land with a building with a demolition very shortly after, and comp 2 was sold as fire damage with a demolition very shortly thereafter. The other 2 were sold as vacant lots.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I apologize for the not exactly straight information. I should have clarified that previously. That was my mistake.
Thanks very much. No further questions.
Thank you. I am just wondering about the land influences on the subject property. It indicates there's a back lane and commercial adjacent, while none of the others have a back lane or are commercial adjacent. Is a back lane considered a negative impact?
So the comparables actually all do have the back lane. It was just an error on my report. I actually deleted it from my report because if you look at the map, they all back onto the back lanes.
Right. Okay, thank you. I think that's all my questions. And I think that brings this item to an end. So we'll move on to item 4, which is Toronto Street.
Thank you. So the subject property is located on Toronto Street, just north of Sargent Avenue. Roll number 13040101000. located again in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood, 25-26 square feet, has that commercial adjacent influence. The comparables all again are in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood, between 2207 square feet to 2871 square feet. Again, the comparable 4 has the bus route medium traffic being located on Arlington. The time adjusted sale prices again are 86,400 to 110,700, and per square foot that would be the 3009 per square foot to 5016 per square foot. And again, the assessed value at 98,000 or 3880 per square foot, I believe, is supported. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Anderson, do you have any questions of the assessor?
I have no questions. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Mr. Marks?
No, I've got no questions. Thank you, and thank you for your report.
And I have no questions at this time, so thank you very much for your presentation, and that brings our session to a conclusion.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Have a nice weekend.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.